Some people are not completely alone. They have contacts, coworkers, classmates, people who like their posts, people they could text if they needed a quick answer. But when something real happens, something heavy, embarrassing, confusing, or tender, they suddenly realize there may be no one they would actually call. That is a very specific kind of loneliness, not the loneliness of having zero people around, the loneliness of being known only on the surface. If this is your life, you may wonder what it says about you. Why do other people seem to have a group chat, a best friend, a person who checks in while your relationships stay polite, useful, or temporary? Why can you be friendly with everyone but close to almost no one? The answer is not always that you are unlikable. Sometimes people have no close friends because they learned how to be socially acceptable without ever learning how to be emotionally reachable. They know how to make conversation. They know how to be helpful. They know how to be funny at the right time, quiet at the right time, easy at the right time. But closeness asks for something different. It asks for repetition. It asks for vulnerability. It asks for repair after small misunderstandings. It asks for the slow permission to be inconvenient, unfinished, and real. And for many people, that is the frightening part. Modern life makes this even easier to hide. You can spend all day in Slack, Zoom, Instagram, email, group chats, and quick reactions, yet still go to sleep without feeling emotionally held by anyone. Connection has become easier to simulate and harder to feel. You can be visible and still be unknown. You can be reachable and still be unsupported. You can have a full notification bar and still feel like no one has access to the real room inside you. Psychology makes an important distinction here. Social isolation is about the amount of contact or network you have. Loneliness is about the gap between the connection you need and the connection you feel you have. That means a person can be lonely in a crowded office, lonely in a relationship, lonely with hundreds of online followers, and strangely peaceful while spending a weekend alone if that solitude feels chosen and safe. So having no close friends is not only a numbers problem. It is a depth problem. The question is not how many people know your name. The question is how many people know what your silence means. One reason people end up without close friends is emotional self-protection. At some point, closeness may have felt unsafe. Maybe people used your honesty against you. Maybe friendships became competitive, one-sided, or full of quiet judgment. Maybe you were the listener, the therapist friend, the dependable one, but when you needed care, everyone disappeared. Maybe your family taught you that needing people leads to disappointment. So you adapted. You became pleasant, private, independent. You learned to leave before you could be left. You stopped expecting follow-up. You stopped asking for help. You turned "I do not need anyone" into a personality because needing someone once hurt too much. That kind of independence can look strong from the outside. Inside, it can become a locked room. Another reason is selectivity. Some people do not want many friends. They want one or two people who feel emotionally clean. People who do not drain them. People who can handle silence. People who do not turn every confession into gossip, advice, competition, or performance. For introverted or highly sensitive people, shallow socializing can cost more energy than it gives back. They may enjoy people, but only when the connection has enough honesty to be worth the stimulation. So they withdraw from casual groups not because they hate people, but because they are tired of translating themselves. The danger is that selectivity can slowly become avoidance. At first, you are protecting your peace. Then you stop giving anyone enough access to prove they are safe. You reject people before they can disappoint you. You assume no one will understand. You keep every interaction just light enough that it cannot become a risk. And then years later, you look around and realize you have protected yourself all the way into emotional distance. This is one of the quiet traps of having no close friends. It can begin as self-respect and end as self-isolation. Not because boundaries are bad, because boundaries without bridges become walls. Close friendship is not built by finding a perfect person who instantly understands everything. It is built through small, repeated moments of trust. Someone remembers what you said last week. Someone notices when your energy changes. Someone apologizes without making you beg for it. Someone lets you be honest and does not punish you for having needs. Someone sees an ordinary detail and treats it like it matters because it belongs to you. These moments sound small because closeness is small before it is deep. It grows through consistency. And consistency is difficult in a culture that keeps everyone busy, distracted, moving, optimizing, and half present. Many adults do not lose close friends through one dramatic betrayal. They lose them through drift, a move to another city, a new job, a relationship, burnout, different schedules, different values, a long season where everyone assumes someone else will reach out. Then the friendship becomes a memory with a birthday notification attached. This is why having no close friends should not be treated as a personal failure. There are social forces involved. Work moves people. Phones fragment attention. Online life gives small hits of contact without the emotional nourishment of being truly known. Many communities have fewer built-in places where adults repeatedly see the same people without having to manufacture the whole relationship from scratch. But even when the culture is part of the problem, your healing still has to become personal, not blame. Responsibility. The first step is telling the truth without shaming yourself. Maybe you do not have close friends right now. That does not mean you are incapable of closeness. It means your current life does not contain enough conditions for closeness to grow. Conditions matter. Friendship needs time. Proximity, shared context, emotional risk, follow-up, mutual effort, and enough safety for both people to stop performing. If one of those conditions is missing, connection stays thin. So instead of asking, why does no one choose me? Ask, where in my life could closeness actually repeat? Who do I already feel a little more relaxed around? Where do I disappear when people try to know me? What kind of vulnerability feels honest but not overwhelming? Close friendship often begins with a small door, not a full confession. You do not have to hand someone your whole history. You can start with one real sentence. I have been more tired than usual. I actually felt nervous about that. I miss having people I can be real with. I would like to hang out again, not just say we should. These sentences are not dramatic. They are invitations. They let another person step closer without forcing them to carry everything. And when someone responds well, you repeat. That is how trust forms. Not through intensity, through evidence. Another step is to stop auditioning for belonging. People with no close friends often become very good at being low maintenance. They hide preferences. They do not ask for much. They match the room. They become the version of themselves least likely to be rejected. But the version of you that never needs anything cannot be deeply loved. It can only be approved of. Closeness requires some visibility, not constant emotional exposure. Just enough truth that another person can meet you where you actually are. This also means learning to repair. Many private people quietly leave relationships after the first discomfort. A delayed reply, a strange tone, a plan that falls through, a joke that lands wrong. Instead of checking, they withdraw. Sometimes withdrawal is wise, but sometimes it is fear wearing the mask of dignity. Healthy closeness includes small repair attempts. Hey, I may be reading this wrong, but did something feel off yesterday? I know I got quiet. I was overwhelmed, not angry. I still want to see you. I just needed a slower week. Repair is where friendship becomes sturdy. Without repair, every relationship has to stay perfect to survive. And no real friendship can do that. The goal is not to collect people. The goal is to become connected enough that your inner life has somewhere safe to land. One close friend can change the texture of a life. Two can make the world feel less sharp. A small circle can be more nourishing than a crowded calendar. So if you have no close friends right now, do not turn that into a final identity. Treat it as information. Maybe you need better rooms. Maybe you need more repetition. Maybe you need to let safe people see one layer deeper. Maybe you need to stop confusing being understood instantly with being understood eventually. Maybe you need to practice staying gently when closeness becomes real. There is nothing broken about needing people. There is also nothing broken about needing quiet. The art is learning how to protect your solitude without making loneliness your home. You do not need everyone. You do not need a huge group. You do not need to become louder, more available, or less thoughtful. But you do deserve at least one relationship where you do not have to translate your entire soul before you can rest. Close friendship is not proof that you are worthy. You are worthy before anyone chooses you. Close friendship is one of the places where worthiness becomes easier to feel. So begin small, reach out once, return to one place. Tell one true sentence. Let one safe person matter a little more. And if this felt like your inner world, stay close to inner cortex. Because having no close friends does not mean you were meant to be alone. It may mean your nervous system has been waiting for connection that feels honest enough to trust